What did I tell you what I'm drinking now? You won't believe it. I've decided to go off tea. Uh, I'm having problems with tea. Apparently, the green tea or any kind of tea is causing me like gastro issues, belching and bloating. You know what I've got in here? Hot water with honey and lemon. Has anybody ever just had hot water with honey and lemon and nothing else? I don't know, but I will now. Hi, Mike. I don't know. Is my voice coming through? I don't like the sound in my ears that I'm getting here. Okay, well, today's the official release date of the Red and the Blue albums. So I'm wondering if anybody's going to be talking about them or anything. We can talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be a discussion of the Red and the Blue albums. We can talk about anything else too, within reason. But first, I'd like to make sure that I'm being heard because I don't know. I don't like the sound here. I did not receive the vinyl yet. I have the red and the blue vinyl, colored vinyl, colored records. Uh, on the way, but I don't know when they're going to arrive. So, okay, we already got 21 people here. Thank you. 'Cause I know it's early in the morning, but okay. Hi, Richard. Hello, Andy. Jose. Thank you, Jose. That's good to know. Yeah. Well, this water, I didn't let the water boil enough. I don't. Boiling is a tough word, but I didn't let it get hot enough. This is not very hot, but it is. It is warm. Liam, Liam wants to know, why does the 2023 mix of "Can't Buy Me Love" sound like a different lead vocal, almost a single track vocal? Did you notice? I don't know what I would call it, but I, I I didn't talk about it in my review, but I wasn't too wild about the sound of "Can't Buy Me Love." I don't know. Sounds a little too. I don't know. I don't know what the word, tinny, kind of like out there. I kind of like it a little more. I don't know. If I say deeper, I don't know if that's the right word. I'm not wild. I don't like the stereo mix as much of "Can't Buy Me Love." Think I prefer that in mono. Hi, Harold. Hello, Beetle Babe. Good to see you, Jen. It says about the tea. I really appreciate it. By the way, the last time we were messaging, you were talking about tea, and I like the name. You had a name of something that you do. I forget what it's called, tea time or something, whatever it was. I like the title of that. But you're talking about if you get one that's just mint tea and nothing else, that may help with the gastro issues too. That's it. Teenage wasteland. Very clever. Those are the kind of names I like. Names that are like catchy and clever. Play on words. Well, I'll look up about mint and peppermint tea because this is just water. This is plain water with honey. I squirted some honey in there and some lemon juice. That's all I've got. Okay. Andy Miles just delivered a blue LP to a customer. Very good. Yeah, She Loves You was a disappointment, unfortunately. I agree that I Am the Walrus is a disgrace. Um, yeah, yeah. Right, I know that's true, Beetle Babe. I know that ginger is good for gastro issues. I know that. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, She Loves You was a real disappointment. I don't know if it's because they don't have the original tapes or whatnot, but it was disappointing. But one thing that I forgot to mention in my review that I'm very disappointed in myself about was that the edits are gone. There's usually you can hear like splices where they put more than one take together originally, but they took those out. I don't know if that's just because it's overall cloudy and muggy. Maybe because She Loves You is just kind of muggy and smothered sounding to begin with, is why it's. I don't know if they made an effort to take out the edits, or just because of the general lackluster quality that kind of hides the edits. Yeah, Beetle Babe says I haven't been up early enough to catch these. It's 4 a.m. where you are. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Believe me. Yep, I am the Walrus is destroyed. I agree. I agree. Hi, Anthony. Good morning. Okay. Lila asks, are we reaching the saturation point with these songs now regarding remixed, remastered, etc.? Well, it may seem like that, and possibly you're right, but we still have to get through the original Please Please Me album with the Beatles album, Hard Day's Night album, Beatles for Sale album, Help, and Rubber Soul. So we're far off. You actually missed the mistake on Day Tripper. Yeah, I don't miss it. I never liked that kind of like glitchy, that little glitch that's in Day Tripper. I never liked that. Yeah, I like the rhythm guitar you can hear in Magical Mystery Tour. That's an addition. I guess that was originally toned down in the mix, the original mix of Magical Mystery Tour, the song. You didn't hear the guitar in there. Now you hear rhythm guitar coming on the right channel. Yeah, Hey Bulldog. I think that Hey Bulldog here on the new mix is better than the one that was originally released in the 60s. However, I don't think it's as good as the soundtrack from 1999, the Yellow Submarine soundtrack. Hello, Jim. People have asked me, Liam, about the 2006 Love mix of I Am the Walrus. The truth is, I don't like the Love album. I don't care about the Love album. To me, it's just a bunch of mishmashes of everything. I don't like that, so I don't play it. I have it in my collection just as a you know a complete thing, but to complete it. Good morning to Robbie Detroit's Vinyl. I don't agree with that. A lot of people say that. Why don't they take the instrumental of "She Loves You" on the German version and add the English vocals? I don't. I'm glad they didn't do that. The rumors were that they were going to do that. I do not like I don't like "Schliebdig," the German song, as much as I like the regular one. I don't. I think that's the music. The instrumental of "She Loves You" in the German version is not the same as what they performed on the English version, and I think it would be sacrilege to do that. I'm glad they didn't do that. Hello, Naz. Earth says apparently McCartney still has a good ear in his 80s since he blew this one out of the park with Now and Then. I agree with you. I know some people didn't like Now and Then. I like Now and Then. As I say, Now and Then, I'm not gonna call Now and Then a classic Beatles song. Um, I think Now and Then the song is pretty good. Now and Then the video I think is excellent. You know what I mean? And the video to me improves the song even more. But although I wouldn't call Now and Then a great classic Beatles song, I would call it great classic Beatles sentiment, emotion. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The song itself is not really so great, but I think it's good. But for me, the emotion of it the feeling that it evokes is what it's about. I don't know how else to describe it. Now, when Beetle Babe is talking about, sounds like someone's dribbling a basketball throughout it. Which song are we talking about, Jen? Anthony talks about roll over Beethoven. Right? Oh, hey Bulldog. Okay, I got you. Hey Bulldog, Jen. Um, roll over Beethoven sounds like it has a bad edit on George's "Ooh" right before the guitar solo. Is it like that on the CD? I didn't notice that. I am a Beatles completist to a point, Liam, but there's a lot of things I don't have as well. But when it comes to the actual albums that are released about the Beatles, I'm a completist when it comes to actual Beatles albums. You know. Good morning, Christopher. Yeah, "For Me to You" I thought sounded great. I'm not a big fan of the song "For Me to You," but now I am. I've never heard "For Me to You" sound better anywhere else than it does here. That's the biggest revelation for me. Oh, by the way, Jen, Beetle Babe, listen, I respect your opinion on not really being blown away by now and then. I want you to know that. I don't include you, in any of that. But I did read some of the remarks from people, and some of them were downright nasty. And one of them was from John Alelo, who was one of my best reviewers. I really think it's pretty nasty and disgraceful the way John Alelo wrote to you there. You know, I just want to say that. Now I know that the song "Now and Then" is number one on the U.S. uh, digital downloads charts. But does anybody know for 100% certain today, Friday, November 10th, is supposed to be the day that the Now and Then song is officially, I mean officially, number one for good in England on the England official charts? Does anybody know if that's come out yet, or we have to wait a few hours, or what? Because it is like 12 after 12 noon there in the UK. But I'd like to know what the situation is there. Yeah, I love the hi hat. I didn't know what to call them. My girlfriend thinks she knows everything about music because she is a music major, and she's a musician really. But she said she called them brushes. The hi hats. Whatever you hear from Ringo on this boy, a hi hat or you can hear that really great. This boy was a real revelation too. So, hello, Apple Pits. How much did the albums cost me? $31.99. Each CD was $31.99. Robbie, I do not have a butcher cover right now. I used to have one, but I sold it. It wasn't in the greatest shape. Love Me Do, that's on the album, is the Ringo version. It's not Andy White version. Lila says, so you're listening with your eyes? Let's not go there, Lila. I mean, what can I tell you? I feel the same way. I think I'm sorry, I disagree with you, Lila, and a lot of people disagree. Some people are under the delusion that the majority, like that guy Matt from the 60s, said that he thinks that the silent majority has spoken, and the silent majority doesn't like the song. By far, the majority likes the song. It's from my experience, it's lesser people. I didn't mean lesser people. See, what I mean is there are less people who don't like it, is what I meant to say. Sometimes things come out wrong. There are less people who don't like it, but that's, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I've said before, I don't mean this as an insult to anybody who didn't like it, but I don't understand it. I kind of feel bad about that, sad about it, sorry about it. I don't understand it, but I'm not trying to insult anybody. But yes, the video is so beautiful that it enhances the song. Nothing wrong with that. I personally, like I say, I like the song. I love the song with the video, and I love the emotion and the sentiment behind it. Perfect way, in my opinion, to end the Beatles' career with class and emotion. Yeah, they used the stereo mix for the red. Oh, please, please me for the red album, and that's pretty bad. Yeah, I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand sounds fantastic. It's the best I've ever heard. I want to hold your hand. So some of the songs here are my go-to songs. You know, my go-to versions of certain songs. You know, I have not done an A B comparison. I have not done an A B comparison. No. Good morning to Joseph Mantaneo. So does anybody out there know if it's official on the official UK charts that now, without doubt, without speculation, without maybe, it's on the way to number one status? Maybe, is it officially number one? Beetle Babe says this boy should be called the "I hope you like bass" edit. I didn't really notice that on that one. Where I noticed too much bass for sure was on Old Brown Shoe. Old Brown Shoe. I always loved the bass playing on Old Brown Shoe, but this it was really over the top. They must have put the button on like 100 for that. So yeah, I don't like the end of the "I Am the Walrus" mix either. I think it's terrible. Do I think it'll be Rubber Soul next year or Please Please Me? I think the next one will be Rubber Soul, at least according to Giles Martin. So Fred Velez. Hey Fred, it's good to see you here, Fred. Fred the Monkey Man. Check out his expert books on his relationship with the monkeys and everything like that. He's a monkeys expert, Fred Velez. Uh, okay, Matchstick Man. Hello. Yes. I think you meant to say "I Am the Walrus" had extra notes on the intro. Some people say measures, extra measures, notes, bars. I don't know the lingo. I think I do have a Stars on Long Play record. Yes, I do. Pretty definite on that. Anthony says some folks made their minds up not to like the song before they even heard it. Easy to spot them. It was the same for the new Stones album. I agree with you on that. I'm not saying everybody, because nothing's 100% one way or the other. But I know there are some people. One guy who goes by the initials IR. Obviously, he just exists to crap on everything, and he thinks that's funny, and he thinks that he's got a little tiny handful of minions there that kind of outcasts that kind of linger there to bask in that kind of negativity. So, hello, Mal. What's going up, Mal Walsh? Okay, good for you. Sounds good that you got your stuff. Oh, I see. The UK charts are announced at 6 p.m. I'm sorry. Somebody said something about 6 p.m. I get you. Yeah. George Alexander, hello. Which Giles remix album is your favorite and least? It's hard to say because when it comes to Giles Martin, his work is so hit and miss, mostly miss. I don't know. I guess I would say Sergeant Pepper is the best of the bunch, and probably the White Album is my least. Beatly Tone has advised everybody to stream now and then like mad. Hi, Tom Liverani. Hello. I'm sorry, I'm missing a lot. I got to get up to the top. I'm missing a lot of comments here, and I don't know why I'm not allowed to scroll up. For some reason, I can't. When I use the regular YouTube, which I'm using now instead of Streamyard, I can't scroll up for the top. So I'm sorry, everybody. I'm missing. Yes, I think the new. I agree with Jim. The new mixes do wonders for Ringo's drumming. Yes, I agree. From Me to You, I love the way From Me to You sounds. It's the best I've ever heard that song. In less than one day, the Beatles hit number one on the Billboard digital sales chart. Yes. Yeah, but that's not the chart they go by in the history books. In the US, it's Billboard, the regular Billboard Top 100 chart, and in England, it's the official charts. So, yeah. Good morning to Penny Lane. You're in my ears, in my eyes. Let's see. I think McCartney still has gas for one more album. What do you think? Yes, I always thought that. McCartney never tires, McCartney never stops. Yes, I'm not mean. I'm not mean. The only reason that I have the name Mean Mr. Mayo is because of Mustard, Mean Mr. Mustard, and Mean Mr. Mayonnaise. Yeah, that's why I want to get rid of that name. I can't get rid of the name. Mean Mr. Mayo is such a big thing now on with associated with me. It's kind of a brand. I can't change it. But too many people who don't know me are thinking, well, what does this guy mean? They don't understand the connection with Mean Mr. Mayo. Mean Mr. Mustard. I mean Mr. Mayo. Did they ever do a breakout LP of the Escher demos? Yeah, they've done that. Yeah, I think there's an LP of it, a 12-inch record. B-sides, Hello, what White Album is my favorite? Probably because it was on the 8-track all the time in our Pinto growing up. Okay, Beetle Babe says if you open the link to your stream, see, this is making me cough. This shit. It's supposed to get rid of the cough, not cause a cough. If you open the link to your stream in another tab on your PC, but pause the video so you aren't playing it in the background, you can view live chat there that way. I don't even understand that. I don't understand that. But anyway, now and then at the top 15 in Billboard's Hot 100, yeah, that's disappointing. I mean, if now and then is anything less than the top five in the US, that's terrible. But if it's number one in the UK, that's all that counts because as long as it's a number one on either country, it goes in the Beatles history books. Good morning, Lee. Uh, You know, um, is this red and blue package stupid? What do you mean? No. Hello, Alan. I've been watching you for a few years. He tells me first time posting. Thanks. Post more often. Enjoy your takes, getting them today. Wife picking it up on her way home. Beatles are such a big part of my life since hearing them in '64. Absolutely. So, Tom, what's up, Tom Liverani? Do you know how many Rubber Soul tracks are on the new LP? Well, I haven't. Yeah, I got him here. Let's do it. We've got Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man, Michelle, In My Life, If I Needed Someone, and Girl. 7 tracks, which to me is too much, but I digress. Yes, Joe G says Beatle fans would get your name. They understand me, Mr. Mayo. Yeah, I know they know that, but I'd like to pull some people in that aren't like well-rounded Beatle fans as well yet. Do you think it's a sad reflection, Joe, on today's artists that we are still hanging off every Beatles release? Well, I don't want to, look, the Beatles are always it. Beatles are always number one. They'll always be number one. Taylor Swift it may be all over the world now, and more power to her. I don't have anything against her personally, but it's always the Beatles. It always comes back to the Beatles, and it always will. So let's see. Putting Now and Then on the Blue album was a great marketing strategy with all the attention. I agree, and I think it fits on there well. When you listening to the Blue album and hearing all the Beatles harmonies and all the Beatles choruses and all the magic that the Beatles have is also available to me, to my ears, when you listen to Now and Then. Some people saying it doesn't sound anything like the Beatles. I don't know how you can say that. It's got John, Paul, George, and Ringo singing and harmonizing on it, even if it's Frankenstein. So, but the overall sound is the Beatles sound. It sounds just like if you listen to all of the Blue album all the way through, you get to that last track Now and Then. It sounds like the Beatles you've been listening to for the past 2 hours or whatever it is. Am I going to buy the red and the blue vinyl colored albums, Penny Lane? Well, I already have them on order from the Beatles store. So whenever they decide to ship them, I'll have them. Mr. Lennon Axel. Yeah, yep. We got 95 people here and only 14 likes. Hit that like button, please. Smash that like button. Pound that like button, but don't break anything. Don't break it. Pound it, but don't break it. Hit the likes. Give me a thumbs up. And if anybody there wants to help me out being able, to get more stuff, how else do you word it? There's a little S on the bottom. There's a little S there on the bottom. So it helps me in my being able to get. Now I can scroll up. Sometimes I can scroll up, and sometimes I can't scroll up. That's weird. All right, let's see. Well, I got to try to. Let's see. If Now and Then does get to number one, will the album compilation one have to be re-released? I don't think so. Well, maybe they will. And if you re-release it, try to stick "Please Please Me" on there. "Please Please Me" should have been on that freaking one album. It's their first number one. I know there's been some controversy in recent years that maybe it wasn't actually number one on the official charts or some crap like that. But all right. I didn't hear a big difference with "She Loves You" as compared to "I Want to Hold Your Hand." Did you, Joe? No, I didn't. "I Want to Hold Your Hand" was amazing. It's fantastic. It's so powerful. I love it. Very full and energetic. I love it. "She Loves You" is kind of smothered, is the word I'm going to use. That somebody said. That's a good way. A little disappointed with "She Loves You," honestly. Joe, I think this is the first time on any Beatles record that George has back-to-back songs. No, never thought of that. Didn't notice that. Do you think a remix of "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love" should have been on the Blue album? Well, Philip, I didn't want that on the Blue album, but I do want remixes. I want really good new modern remixes with the new technology for both "Real Love" and "Free as a Bird." but I didn't want them on the Blue album. I'd rather them come out some other way, maybe on an EP. All the 90s songs that they did on an EP. Thank you for the thumbs up, folks. We've gone up to 37. We got 102 viewers and on 37 likes. Let's see how high we can get up to 100. Yeah, that helps with the algorithm. That helps. I think that helps with the algorithm. So they tell me it helps with it. Um, Good to see Marv here. Beetle Vinyl 85. Marv, go over check Beetle Vinyl 85. He's got so much. He's got probably everything that's been released, different all the variations. Okay, thank you for all the thumbs ups. I appreciate it. Wow. Okay, thank you. Um, uh, how do I rate this boy compared to the original? I think this version now of this boy on this compilation is better than they've ever heard it before. This boy is one of the crown jewels, in my opinion, of this. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Let's see. Disappointed that the extra tracks aren't in chronological order on the vinyl editions. Me too. That was a stupid mistake. Beetle Vinyl 85 says Love Me Do is also smothered. Yeah, but I'm not as worried about Love Me Do too much for some reason. But I think Love Me Do sounds a lot better than She Loves You on this. Do you think You Can't Do That gets the love it deserves? I love the song You Can't Do That. I don't know why I wasn't that blown away with it here. I don't know what I was expecting, but I'm glad they didn't have that annoying cowbell too loud. Mr. Lennon Axel wanted Strawberry Fields to be remixed, but it uses the 2015 mix. Actually, I liked Strawberry Fields the way it sounded on here, actually. Hackney Diamonds is only number 13. That great album, Hackney Diamonds, only made number 13. Is that the debut? What's the highest chart position of Hackney Diamonds on the Billboard 200 charts? Okay, see, some people really like Wink Demand here says I was totally blown away by the She Loves You remix. So some people like the She Loves You remix. The only thing I liked about it was that it takes out those annoying edits that were always discernible, which I forgot to mention in my review. You always make mistakes here one way or another. Yeah, Old Brown Shoe is terrible. I think Old Brown Shoe is really disgusting. It really is just ruined. Um, so what are our options for Free as a Bird and Real Love can be next released on Anthology? Number one's just an EP. I would put an EP out. That's what I would do at this point. You're not going to redo the one albums over again, I don't think, and you're not going to do Anthology over again. So if they do it, put it out there, put it out on that. Uh, okay, Hugo, hello, says, I'm sure you talk about it in your review, which I haven't seen yet, but do you think the new Yesterday mix has less emotional impact with the division of the strings on the sides? I did notice that. I thought Yesterday sounded really beautiful. I mean, it sounded great on the new one. That's about all I could say. I didn't notice that. Oh, so Hackney Diamonds did make number 3, Marv. Thank you. All right, so Hackney Diamonds, the great album in my estimation by the Stones, the new album, number three. Wish it would have got to number one, but I'm glad it did so well. Okay. Lee is asking any Beatles remix that Giles Martin creates, do Paul and Ringo have to sign off on? I would guess they do. I don't know, but I don't know if you're trying to get at here is that, well, if Paul and Ringo liked it, it must be good, because I don't go for that. I don't care what Paul and Ringo. I'm not saying you're doing this, but it makes me think that just because Paul and Ringo necessarily like or dislike something isn't 100% what my personal feeling would be. Uh, Wasn't Free as a Bird and Real Love remixed in 2015? Free as a Bird and Real Love, yes, they were remixed, Tom. And they were better. However, I think they need to be even better today. I think they can do that. I think after what they did with Now and Then with the new technology, they can put John's voice more up front and make John's voice sound less like he's in a toilet or something. They improved it a little bit, I thought, but not as much as they could now. Why didn't I get the colored vinyl? Well, I've said twice in this. You got to listen, my dear. Twice, Lila, I did say I am getting the colored vinyl. They're coming from the Beatles store. What did I think about the albums when you first listened to them in the 70s? Dino wants to know. Well, I was already I became a real Beatles nut after they were released. I kind of went back and got the red and blue albums. I didn't think anything of them, honestly, because I bought all the regular albums first, and then I went back, I guess, and got the red and the blue later. And to me, they were just a way to have everything on a best of compilation, just to have them all as like a. I hate to use the word hits because they weren't all hits, but a sampling of their stuff. It didn't really mean much to me by the time I got around to it. Yeah, that's true. I should have mentioned that Norwegian Wood. I was listening for that. There's a sound where like somebody coughs or a guitar falls or something happens. It comes after told her to sit anywhere. Uh, and then you hear like just before the line. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. There was like a cough or a noise or something that's missing. Thank God. Norwegian Wood is another one. I think Norwegian Wood here is fantastic. Norwegian Wood here never sounded better. So there you go. Yes, I saw her standing there, sounded really good. I just don't know. When I was listening to it, I expected to hear more Paul bass. What I liked about I saw her standing there so much was that Ringo's drums were really pronounced. Even my girlfriend, who was listening with me, said, "Wow, I can't believe how good Ringo sounds. A lot of stuff I never heard this like this before." So she picked up on Ringo's drumming and liked it. And it's going to make people appreciate Ringo's drumming more than they used to. However, I expected I had the bass all the way up to 10. Well, on the system I was using, and I didn't hear Paul's bass just wasn't loud enough to me. I thought they always go rather bass heavy on these things. I was surprised. Hard Day's Night on the Red album. I should have mentioned I did not like the opening chord. I thought it was too weak. It sounded like weak or something to me. The opening chord should have really been loud. Or should have been really like powerful. It just didn't sound like that. Hard Day's Night was okay. It was good. I wasn't knocked out by it. Marv, thank you, Marv, for stopping by. Beetle Babe says there's a new Mickey Dolenz EP out today. What do I think of it? I think again, Nowhere Man, I thought was the best I've ever heard. Nowhere Man. I don't know. I don't remember how much I liked it or not. I love the 1999 Yellow Submarine song track with the Blue Album, and I really liked all the songs on that, including Nowhere Man. But it's been a while since I heard it. But Nowhere Man here on the Red Album, I think sounds phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's great. So yeah, it sounds really, really good. Um, yeah, well, Styx talks about the Styx 1231 says how bad the the sound of I Am the Walrus is. I Am the Walrus is the one disgrace. Well, two disgrace on here. The two big disgraces, as far as I'm concerned, on this new Blue album. I Am the Walrus is the worst. The ending of I Am the Walrus. Until they get to the ending, it's not too bad, but the ending really sucks and blows the whole thing. And also, Old Brown Shoe. Old Brown Shoe is way too bass heavy. George's voice is way too distant. I really hate that too. So I don't know why Paul and Ringo sign off. I don't know why. They must like it. I don't know if the hearing is what it used to be. What's my best remix song on these records through the years? I don't know if you're talking about these records. I mean, for me to you, is great. I want to hold your hand is great. This boy is great. Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man. Those on this one, those are some of the ones that come to mind that I really loved. You can't hear the hand claps on 8 days a week. I didn't notice that. Do you think Now and Then has the potential to become the most covered song by the Beatles? I don't know about that. Yesterday is probably going to be the most covered song, Yesterday or something. But Here Comes the Sun. But I think that Now and Then lends itself to cover songs. Yeah. Behind the chat. Well, that's because I've got over 100 people here. That's why I'm behind. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to catch up as best I can. I'll do the best I can to catch up now. Would I want the bongos less pronounced on lose that? Are you going to lose that girl? Absolutely. I'm not a fan of the bongos. So yes, for me personally, and you're going to lose that girl, I'd like the bongos to be subdued. Yes, we try to catch up soon, folks. Is Walrus bad because it's not familiar? I don't know. Most of the reason it's bad is because it's not familiar. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But it also, I just think the ending sucks. But most of it is because it's not the way we're used to hearing it, and the way we're used to hearing it, I just think is better. But hello to Scott O'Rourke. I am caught up now. Now I'm caught up. I wasn't that far behind, was I? I'm caught up now, so I don't think I was that far behind. Do I like the clean beginning on Dear Prudence? Yes, it's interesting. Yeah, I love the way Dear Prudence is on the White Album, where the end of Back in the USSR fades into Dear Prudence. But it's nice to have a clean version too. Yes. Lila asked, "Would you say your streams are busier when you hit peak times in the UK?" Well, my streams are at their best when it's both times because right now it's too early for the USA. You know, pretty much UK is good, but I think if I was to do this more, I don't know, around the best time to do these things is probably around 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern. Probably the best time to do these. Yeah, Mr. Lennon Axel, I love the video now and then too. Any difference between now and then the single and the version on the Blue album? I didn't notice any difference. I thought that I didn't say this in my review because there's no point really, but when I heard now and then on the Blue album, I didn't think it sounded as clear as all the other songs. Is that it was just kind of funny. You would think that now and then would have sounded even clearer, cleaner and clearer. But maybe because what they were working with, the John tape and everything, it just on its own it sounds fine. But when you hear it after hearing like whatever they played, Long and Winding Road. But after after hearing "Let It Be," "Across the Universe," "I Me Mine," and "The Long and Winding Road," then you get to "Now and Then." It just sounded the quality went down a little, audio quality slightly. I thought in my ears. But as I say, when you're listening to stuff like "Something," "Octopus's Garden," "Oh Darling," "I Want You," "She's So Heavy," "Let It Be," "Across the Universe," "I Me Mine," "Long and Winding Road," and then you hear "Now and Then," it's every bit as much of a Beatles song as the rest of them. Every bit as much. It sounds like a Beatles song. It has the harmonies in the background. They're using the harmonies from "Because," for God's sake. It's a Beatle. It sounds just like a Beatles song. So that's my opinion. Don't and I'm sticking with it. So, uh, are there bongos or congas on the song? There is a difference. I thought they were bongos. I don't know. Doing the best I can. What Beatles track have you tried to play backwards on a record player? I've played Revolution 9 backwards manually on trying to get the number 9, and I've played even the "I'm So Tired" at the end where it says supposedly says Paul is dead, miss him. That's crap. So yeah, it's funny. Giles Martin ruined "I Am the Walrus." Did he put in his own radio garble? Yeah, I will. I will. Let me put it to you this way: I will never. I'm in no mood to ever listen to this version of "I Am the Walrus" again because I'm used to the one I'm used to. I think George Martin did it masterfully, and it's almost like all the radio play that's at the end of the original version of "I Am the Walrus," and all the voices with the actors doing King Lear, and sit you down, Father, rest you or bless you or rest you, whatever they're saying, and bury my body and take the letter to the Earl of Gloucester. All this stuff that they're saying is part of the music. You know what I mean? It's like part of the lyric. So that's the way it's always going to be in my mind. And I'm not going to let this thing infiltrate that. No way. What did I think of Magical Mystery Tour on the Blue album? I liked Magical Mystery Tour. The only thing I thought was that what at first when you hear the first person say, "Roll up," I think it's Paul, roll up for the Magical Mystery Tour, step right this way." I thought at the beginning it's kind of quiet. You miss the beginning of that. But the rest of the song I like, and as I've said, there's definitely no doubt about it. And I saw it confirmed afterwards. I saw it later confirmed in some other review. You do hear a I say new rhythm guitar. I don't mean they played a new rhythm guitar for it. It was a rhythm guitar in the right channel that was always quieted down. It wasn't in the mix, and then it was brought up for this. And I like that. That was a new change that I did like. So there's somebody that loves the new Walrus mix. Well, I think that's two people now, or maybe you're the same person. Most of the Blue Album remixes the same as the box set remixes. Yes, I think most of them are the same. Yes, the ones we've forgotten already. Yeah, I saw the new Red and the Blue ad on the Beatles YouTube channel, and I read some of the comments, and there were a lot of naysayers in there. It's sad, but I mean, I'm saying, I don't mind being a naysayer on some things, but some people just dismiss. There was one guy who said, I'm not buying this. Why do I need to say the same thing over again? I have the 1973 one. I'll stick with that. Well, look, I'm going to say this right out. People don't like talking like that. Well, you're an idiot. Okay. Yeah, everybody's going to go, why do I say that? Because you don't know what you're talking. You said nothing's different on here. Everything's different on here. Everything's different from the 1973 version. It's not the same mixes. And some of those mixes sucked. John Lennon said that some fool tried to make it stereo. The 73 version didn't work. He said, I took it home and it was embarrassing. He said, that's what Lennon said on the Dennis Elsa show about the red and the blue. Probably the earlier one mostly. um, Philip asked, does Now and Then lose its specialty to you since it's a song that has been around for a long time? The demo is well known because it's not really new. No, to me, it's a totally new song. Totally new song. Doesn't matter to me that the demo was around since whenever. Means nothing to me. They made it into a brand new song, and I'm very happy with it. Earth says, damn, you really have a trained ear to be so meticulous about all of this. Oh, I've heard these songs a billion times. And Sean Lennon said on his Twitter, he said, Me, Mr. Mayo, did a great review of Give Me Some Truth. Wow, he's got a great set of ears and doesn't miss a thing. And I appreciate that coming from Sean Lennon. That was great. It was quite the compliment. Woodland Goblin is not a fan of the Magical Mystery Tour track. Do you think we'll still get a Rubber Soul box set? I believe we're going to get everything. I believe we're going to get all the other albums box sets. Yes, I believe that. Do I know that for a fact? No. However, Giles Martin, I think, did say quite some time ago, after Revolver was released, that the next one will be Rubber Soul. He said that at one point. I don't know if he's changed his mind. Yeah, John Lennon once said he wanted to re-record all the Beatles songs. I wonder what songs he wanted to re-record. I think he said all of them. Remember that famous story? There's a story that George Martin told where he was at the Dakota building, I think, with John at the table, and he said, "I'd like to re-record everything" or something like that. And George Martin said, "Oh, come on, John, don't you think we did some great work? What about Strawberry Fields?" And John said to George Martin, took his glasses down and said, "Especially Strawberry Fields." Well, that was John for you. Good luck, Jeff Jefferson, in checking the stores, Target stores, to see if the vinyl's available. Beetle Babe says, I personally still wish we'd gotten a Magical Mystery Tour box set. Well, sorry. I hope somewhere down the line we do get a Magical Mystery Tour box set. And if we do, that's a chance to try to fix I Am the Walrus. There are no manholes where I am. Robbie says, did you get any of the neon green goo coming out of the manholes where you were at? There are no manholes where I'm at. I don't believe that. I'm not in the city. I don't know of any manholes where I am. David says they should have used the Andy White version of Love Me Do. I don't mind the Ringo version being on the single because that's how it originally was. But on the Red album, I wish the Andy White song version had been there. Yeah, Lee. Now that you mentioned, yeah, I've always noticed that John and George had the pinstripe suits, but I didn't think about where came from. Isn't that amazing? All the years that you look at this and you never think about that. Yeah, they got this pinstripe suits, but I never gave a thought that it was from their concert. Wow. Okay, let's see. Where we at? Joseph Mantaneo. Do you think now that the songs on the Red album are remixed, that there might be release of two albums per year? I don't know about two albums per year. Per year, I'll be happy with one album per year. I don't know. And I agree with Scott O'Rourke. I've often said this myself. Combine Magical Mystery Tour and Yellow Submarine to get one box set. I agree. For that, that's the only release I'd like them to do. All the other releases, I want them to have their own box. But for the Magical Mystery Tour, I don't mind it being tied in with Yellow Submarine at all. Duncan Moss says, I'm too frightened to play High in the Walrus. EKR says, I like that they added more George songs in this version. Yeah, it gave George more of a due. And I like that too. I think that was very good. I just, I just don't think that they should have put on. They should have put "Do You Want to Know a Secret" on here, even though George didn't write that; he sings it. But that was a hit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of "Do You Want to Know a Secret." It's not one of my favorite tracks, but it is worthy of being on this. Objectively speaking, aside from my own bias. Yeah, Lennon Axel says, I want to hear the long version of It's All Too Much by George. I appreciate the song more now that I'm older. Yeah, it was always my least favorite Beatles song. It's All Too Much is still not one of my favorites at all. It's in my very lower tier of Beatles favorites, but I like it better than I used to when I was younger. I'll give you that. Yeah, excuse me. I've been told that Giles Martin took a guitar out of Old Brown Shoe. Careless mistake. I'll be honest with you. When jeez, excuse me. As I got to the end of the Blue album here, the new Blue album, I was bouncing around a little bit because I wanted to get a feel. And some of them I'd heard already. Some of the mixes I already heard. There was no point in playing them again. I knew the mixes from the past. However, Old Brown Shoe was so bad I didn't get through the whole song. I skipped in the middle of the song, so I must have missed the guitar that was missing. I missed the guitar missing. So there you go. Robbie, I suppose the Red and the Blue albums are more of the best of kind of thing, because not everything on it is a hit. You know, have you still got plenty of space in that room for more stuff? No, I do not. I do not have space in this room at all. But it doesn't matter because eventually the idea is we're going to get into a bigger house. And once we get into the bigger house, then I'll have the space. So my feeling is live cramped for a while, put stuff in the closets, move stuff into the living room if you have to. Make sure you have the stuff that you want. Don't skimp on the stuff you want because one day you'll have a bigger place to store it. I don't agree with Scott Sondheim at all. He says you should have left the new song off the red. You should have left the new song off the Blue album and included Helter Skelter. Well, look, not for nothing, but you can get Helter Skelter on the White Album. I mean, I don't. This idea that everything, oh, they got to put this on, they got to put that on, put off Follow the Sun, put No Reply, put Helter Skelter. Where's this? Where's that? Not for nothing, but leave something for the actual albums, the catalog albums. No, leave something for the actual albums. And Now and Then belongs on here. I have no problem with Now and Then being on here as the last Beatles song. It's a great way to close out the album, and it's a good way to sell the album. It's a good way, it's a good way to give an extra boost as to why you might want to buy it from a marketing perspective. So there you go. Um, I don't like that idea, Duncan. Please, please me with the Beatles together. I don't like that idea. I know my friend Beatley Tone feels the same way. Put the early albums together. Please, please me with the Beatles. A Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale. No, no. I want everyone to have their own special treatment. If they do it, if they pair them together, of course I'm all in. I'll take it. But I would rather them be individuals, in my opinion. What am I looking forward to the most for this upcoming Mind Games box set? Everything, everything, especially evolution tracks, working on the progress of the songs, demos, outtakes, all that stuff, all the bonus stuff for sure. You mentioned that John was sort of a fan or a fan of classical music. I don't know that John was a big fan. I think he liked some classical, but I don't know if he was a big classical fan. Maybe Zap because Zappa was too. Maybe that's what connected them. I have no clue as to what connected them. Really don't. Could that's feasible. Are you? Is there a track you are looking forward to most when With the Beatles comes out? I love that album With the Beatles. With the Beatles is the most underrated of all Beatle albums in my book. I love With the Beatles. It's a personal favorite. Which track am I most looking forward to? I don't know. Don't Bother Me. Not a Second Time. Maybe. Well, I agree 100% with Woodland Goblin. I've always said this. I agree. Paul Hicks has a much better ear than Giles Martin. I agree. Good morning to Psycho's Platters. Psycho's Platters, I just spotted you. Welcome. Anthony says, you said something in your red and blue video last night. Collecting is fun. Amen. That aspect is lost on some. The last 2 weeks, exactly. Bravo to you, Anthony. He says the last 2 weeks to me was fun. It's been fun, and I agree with you. All this collecting, buying stuff, accumulating, talking about it, admiring everything on it, and adding it to the collection is fun. If people don't have fun, that's your problem. So I say that because some people get on you. Why do you buy this stuff for? It's like, well, because I have a good time with it. It's not for you to comment on or why I buy things or what. You don't want to buy things, don't buy them. Be miserable. I'm not going to be. What do I pay in America? I'm not going to buy a house. No, no. We're not. I don't know what houses are. They're too expensive. We're not buying a house. We're going to rent a house. Winston says, I don't get how the Day Tripper remix from the one album by Giles is far better than this new mix. How the new one sounds awful. Day Tripper didn't knock me out. I thought it was the 2015 one. I don't know. I lose track. I lose track. Is there any heavy metal that you like or listen to? Maybe a song here, a song there of heavy metal. Woodland Goblin says, I agree with this. Too much in the middle, you lose key sounds in a stereo mix. Giles keeps doing this to these remixes. Cut the crap, Giles. I like that. Yeah. That's what Woodland Goblin says. Yeah, that's the way of describing it because I'm not an audiophile. I don't understand audio stuff, the technicality of it. But when he says that if you have too much in the middle, you lose key sounds in a stereo mix. Yeah, I see what you mean. I still think Giles Martin was the wrong man for this. I've said that from the beginning. Giles Martin, I don't think is the best for this job. Paul Hicks is much better, but they wanted to do it because he's George Martin's son. That's the reason he got the job. How many people do you think? And I know Lee Santa, if he's listening, is going to love this. How many people do you think out there are recording engineers and producers? Hundreds, thousands. They got to have this one individual is the best. This one individual is the best of all everybody. Just no, it's because of the name value. That's the reason. Okay. Do you think we'll get the Beatles version of "Tip of My Tongue" on a "Please Please Me" box set? I don't think I've ever heard "Tip of My Tongue" by the Beatles. I can't remember hearing that. Good morning, Beatle Eddie. What's going on? Someone here says Del Rocket says, I believe Giles Martin hates guitar solos. Sometimes I'm inclined to agree with you. I wonder sometimes. I don't agree with that at all. That lyric that Lila points out, that's in the song, she's leaving home. Fun is the one thing that money can't buy. Baloney. Money can buy a lot of fun, and we won't go there too much. But you know what I'm trying to say. There's all kinds of fun money can buy. Come on. Money might not be able to buy you love, but money can buy you fun. So I don't want to hear that at all. Beatle Eddie got an email. I should be getting the Beatles order November 16th. Winston likes the Hey Bulldog remix. I don't. I like the Hey Bulldog remix better in the 1999 Yellow Submarine song track. Personally, yes. That's Lila says. How has Giles Martin become the sole heir to these tapes? Because his dad was George Martin. Yes, the only reason. We've talked about this, George. Have you heard if Apple will be releasing an EP with all the three Beatles songs, '90s Beatles songs on it? No, there's no talk about that at all. I'm just hoping it happens one day. Henry is here. Hello, Henry. I got to say, folks, I usually get off here about 9 o'clock, so I feel bad when people come later, but there's nothing I can do. Paul McCartney said that. What you said about Giles Martin? I don't know. Yes, Scott. I have all the Fireman albums now. Who are the top music producers today? I don't know all of them, but I do know that what's his name? Was it Andy Watt, the guy who did Hackney Diamonds? I like his production on that. In the late '70s, did you think the Beatles would reunite then, and were you a big fan as you are now? Yeah, I was a huge fan of the Beatles in the late '70s, especially. Um, but I never thought the Beatles would ever reunite. No, never looked like that. Except there was one time in September of 1979 where there was a big article saying in the newspaper that the Beatles were going to reunite for the boat people, and it was on front page news. I still have the newspaper in a closet. It says the Beatles are back, Beatles to reunite in 1979. Everybody freaked out for a little while, but it turned out to be a lot of garbage and a lot of publicity. Publicity is not the word, but it was just a tabloid gossip nonsense, and they ran with it. They ran with it and put it on the papers, even though the Beatles were not. They never said they're going to do it. So, other than that, I have records. I have Scott. I have the records, the vinyl of the Fireman albums. Absolutely. Well, that's interesting though. But let's be fair about it. Woodland Goblin says Giles Martin is a classical producer, not a rock guy. Well, you could say the same about his dad. His dad was not into, didn't know any rock and roll, and was not a rock guy. So I can't say that part. But yeah, I don't. I just don't think Giles is the right man for this job at all. Yeah, Peter Jackson said there can be more Beatles songs, but didn't talk to Paul about it yet. Martin McGrath, are you listening? I know that drives Martin crazy. I had this thing where I said all I did was report that with the technology today, there can be more Beatles songs made, so-called new Beatles songs. Not that I personally say it's a good idea or that I want it, but no matter how many times I said that, this person just kept on saying, "Why do you want this for? Why do you want this? Why do you want this?" And I kept saying, "I don't want it. I'm just telling you that it's possible." So, how long will the red and the blue stay in your car stereo? Well, right now they're not in my car stereo. They're right here with me. I took them out, but I'm gonna when I'm driving today, I'm gonna be putting this back in for sure. So, Norman Maslov is here. Hello. He says there were rumblings in 1973 about the Beatles recording in LA. It turned to be the Ringo album. It turned out to be the Ringo album. Yeah, Ringo album is a great album. And this is the 50th anniversary. I'm very disappointed that the Ringo album, at least, did not have a big box set because I mean, it's a great album. It's Ringo's best. This he had all these hits on there. He had at least two number one songs, I believe, off that album. You're 16 and Photograph. Um, it should have been, and it was the last time you can loosely say the Beatles were kind of reunited because the Beatles all kind of play on there, individually. They could have really made a Beatles package. They could have tied it in with Now and Then. They could have said the last Beatles reunion. They could have done all this stuff with it, but no, instead they don't see it. They don't even consider it. And it's a shame. If you're just joining, I got to go. It's getting time to go. Ah, there you go. There you go. Liam, thank you so much, Liam. We have a £5 super chat. Put it towards the Oklahoma cab fares. Really love the content, Joe. Thank you so much. Off out to try and pick up a red 12-inch now and then from HMV in the UK. Good luck with that. I appreciate that. Thanks, folks. That's right, Scott. I've met you at the record store before, but I wish I could give you a more precise idea when I'm going to be there because I don't know. Martin McGrath says I'll send you my PayPal details. I think you meant I got you. Martin, you wrote you got you them donations. I think you meant meaning you. I got you them donations. Come on, more donate. Before I end, I'll stay on a little longer. Let's see if we can donate a little more in the name of Martin. Let's see. Let's see if we can donate a little more. You know, I'm just having fun with this, folks. But it'll be funny. It'll be really funny. Could you imagine? Could you imagine getting like some? I'm just saying, it'd be funny. I think. The gatefold picture on the red is out of place. Do you think? No, I don't think. I don't understand some of the complaints. I mean, granted, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's my thing, but no, I don't see this out of place at all. The gatefold here, no, not at all. And this, you mean? No, I don't find it. I mean, because of the years, because maybe the age that they're at in there. No, thank you, Joseph Mantaneo. Martin says the red and blue I enjoyed, and you came to defend now and then, so I do respect that. Yes, well, I appreciate that. But I know that, and I say I know there are people who don't like now and then very much, and you got to understand what I mean. I know I've said this before, but it's hard to make you understand. You know, I'm not saying, oh, you're an idiot if you don't like now and then. You're a jerk. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I don't understand it. Because to me, it's so touching and it's so emotional that I find it hard to understand how people don't. That's all. It's a difference. Yeah, I love the remix of I Want to Hold Your Hand too. Martin says the song is growing on him. The song is growing on him. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I think so too. Well, the more I hear it, the more I like it, for me personally. I know some people they just don't care for it. Uh am I getting the red and blue vinyl? Yeah, well, I'm not getting the black vinyl. I'm getting the red and blue colored vinyl. And that's coming from the Beatles store whenever it happens. So, but seriously, Martin, all kidding aside, we can have our moments. We had the moment there, the fun moment where we were going off. But I'm glad that we're talking now, and that's cool. So let's do it. As I say, think about it. If I didn't value some of your opinions, I wouldn't have you here, right? All right, so, Henry, let it go with that. Let it go, okay? Yeah, I'm getting the red and the blue colored vinyl. Yes, that's what I'm getting. All right. I'm going to go now, folks. Thank you all for being here. I got to go by this time. It's a shame. I know a lot of people just come on about the time I'm getting off. It's later in the morning here, and you're here in the States anyway. So thank you all. Martin, welcome back. Hopefully you'll come back and we can have a dialogue. Anyway, everybody, this was great. I had a lot of fun. So I'll talk to you all soon and make sure get you. I'm very interested in hearing what everybody thinks of the Red and the Blue album, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. That's what makes the world go round, and I want to hear the differences. So everybody, good talking to you. Be back soon. Cheers.